Welcome back, FE12 Lunatic-Reverse 0% Growths, Chapter 4. I'm gonna be honest, this is one of my best videos ever. Chapter 4 is very challenging for a lot of reasons. The starting enemies in the west have a lot of overlapping range, and no one is very good at fighting them except for Palla. Meanwhile, in the northeast, we have a ton of pirates that will destroy Ogma, Yumina, and Ubello, and a village being threatened by a thief who will also destroy everyone. There are also two more thieves, in particular one carrying the Devil Sword in the middle of the map. If the northeast village hasn't been visited on turn 1 enemy phase, that thief with the Devil Sword will run east into the mob of pirates, completely ruining any hope of playing fast, so it is non-negotiable that Marth needs to visit the northeast village on turn 1. If that's not bad enough, we're under time pressure from same turn reinforcements that will spawn from all 3 of the western forts on turns 2, 3, and 4 enemy phase on this difficulty, as well as from a different fort near the group of pirates on turns 3 and 4. So we have a whole lot to get done very quickly. The Avatar and Draug team up for this first thief, although we sadly won't be able to visit that village for its Shaver Tome, since like I said, Marth needs to visit the northeast village on turn 1. Palla easily deletes this archer by doubling with the Iron Axe. The bottom left barbarian moves first, and Catria's relatively high defense as a Myrmidon, plus the Taurus Shard and the fort defense, will allow Gordon to safely pull him at the edge of his range. The far east barbarian can be pulled alone by Aaron, and the last two will have to fight Catria, since she deals almost lethal damage with the Lady Sword on counter. She'll need to dodge the second of the 2 attacks though. Yumina pulls Marth over, who then recruits Castor from the village. Castor isn't very interesting, but he's actually going to do a lot of work in this chapter. Ubello gets some items ready for the other units, while Castor and Ogma get in position to pull some enemies. You can see how outmatched Ogma is against all these pirates that you would normally expect a mercenary to do well against. I would prefer that Castor not have to use his killer bow here because of its lower hit chance, but there's no way to get the iron bow from the convoy onto him on turn 1. Gordon pulls one as discussed, and if Catria dodges the first enemy, the second one will actually prefer Palla as a target, and I can't have Palla taking damage here. So Catria has to get hit by the first one and then dodge the second, which is a little annoying, but it's certainly within reason. They only have 60 hit against Catria on that fort. And it's obvious, again, how amazing the Lady Sword is for this point in the game. I made a mistake by having the Javelin on Mathis instead of Draug, but I ad-libbed the trade chain here to make it work out. Warren and the Avatar zero out the healthy Barbarian, shoutouts as always to our Avatar's C rank and bows, and Draug cleans up with a very shaky Javelin toss. Catria's only possible move on this turn is to block this fort, and Mathis is the only Cavalier other than Gordon who's bulky enough to get this kill regardless of enemy stat variation. Very rare Mathis combat indeed. On the other hand, very common Lind W. One of the more subtle challenges of this area is that Aaron has to waste turn 2 holding the western fort instead of fighting because of his mobility, but thankfully it's outside the range of that encroaching Devil Sword thief who would delete Aaron immediately. The northeast turn 2 is quite different from hard 3, because something like Ubello plus Ogma isn't an option for killing the pirate with the hard 4 reversal effect in play. Instead, Palla has to take out the pirate from range, while everyone else frantically runs away from the incoming Silver Sword thief, who will erase anyone except Palla. Ubello hands off Castor's items, as well as the men's staff that Yumina will be needing. Castor heals up in position to pull the next hunter with the iron bow this time. Marth takes a fantastic turn here, equipping Palla's Silver Lance for her and cleaning up this first hunter. It's only been 2 turns, and every unit has done so much already. This is a crazy chapter. Now, Palla is able to one-shot this thief on counter thanks to her Silver Lance, and she really isn't much worse for wear. Okay, it's turn 3. Feels like it's been forever already, and things are just getting started here in the east. Castor needs to kill this hunter, but because of the reversal effect, Yumina has to mend him first. We quite safely take out the Devil Sword thief with Lind and Draug, and because I filled up Draug's inventory, we can warp our shiny new Devil Sword to the convoy. Aaron drops a save for us, because it's time for our one crit of the chapter. Reinforcements are about to come out of this eastern fort for the next 2 turns, and that's unacceptable. But there are just too many pirates to handle on enemy phase, so we'll clear one out with our forged crit javelin. Them's the breaks. Marth needs to move on to this forest tile, which is why he wasn't available to kill the hunter instead of Castor. Now check this out. Ogma takes 4 actions on this turn. Convoy, talk, trade, item use. That's gotta be a personal best. Now Sirius needs these javelins for later, and he's gonna equip the Devil Sword. But don't forget that we have to play a little more hot potato with these forts now that Aaron is gone. And that's going to be the end of the Western Theater. Now see, these pirates have 6 crit, and Sirius has 4 luck. So the 2% crit rule is going to draw the first enemy to him. The differences in hit chance due to Marth's forest tile and weapon triangle make Palla's steel lance a preferable target for the second pirate, and she takes him right out by doubling. If Marth hadn't been here, both the second and third pirates would have gone for Ogma and he'd be dead. This is simply divine AI manip on this turn, and we're not done yet. If Marth moves his full movement, we can potentially clear in 6 turns, but he'll be in range of both a hand axe pirate and a hunter, meaning certain death. And that's why I took a 7-turn clear on hard 3. But I am now older and wiser, and our best friend, the 2% crit rule, will allow us to save a turn. And here we go. Like Sirius, Aaron has 4 luck, so he'll draw the hand axe pirate away from Marth, while Palla does what she does best with the iron axe. Palla continues her merciless campaign of blood, and Sirius sets up a kill for Ogma. Note that the extra tile of movement Marth made last turn was on a desert tile. So you'll see he has 1 extra tile of movement when he seizes the gate, but that desert tile cost 3. So that 1 desert tile really is the difference between 6 and 7 turns. On the topic of the 2% crit rule, it's tempting to want to make like your Munchkin who eats all the stat boosters one of the units with 4 luck, like Sirius. Because if you've put all the stat boosters into someone who is always going to draw aggro because of the 2% crit rule, then your life has no problems at all. While Palla has too much luck to really ever use the 2% crit rule. I gave this a lot of thought, and like Sirius is objectively the coolest character in all of Fire Emblem lore, so I really wanted to make a route that's like a Munchkin Sirius, but his stats are just too far below Palla's at base. I don't think it's ever really going to work out, but it was a really cool idea, and I wanted to do it. Alright, turn 6. And it should be obvious that I could very, very easily have just crit the boss with this save tile, and I chose not to, because I didn't have to, and I should get some credit for that. Instead, we hit this guy 4 different ways to bring him down. And also, you might think I planned this, Palla gets to D-rank axes. It's worth noting that this boss has variable speed, and if he rolls the lower value, Palla can actually double him, which makes this significantly easier, but I wanted to do it without that. So that's a 6-turn clear, 1 turn faster than I did on hard 3. I just keep getting better at this game! This is one of my best chapters ever. So thanks for watching.